I like to do a 3-to-1 kind of balance when I make my grits, whether that be quick grits or they be the long kind of style of grits. I think 3 parts liquid to 1 part grit works really well. And I back off the cream a little bit, only for the pure fact that if you add so much cream to them, yeah, it does make them rich, but they tend to break sometimes and get kind of oily, I guess you could say. This allows more of a pure flavor of the grit to come through, rather than the cream kind of muddling things over a bit. So that's why I back off the cream. So I've got my 2 cups. I'm just going to put them in a very thick bottom pan, or pot I should say, and then to that I'm going to add a quart of water, and then we'll just get that up to a boil here real quick. We use grits from Anson Mills up in Columbia. They're ground when we order them and shipped to us. So that's one of the benefits of being in the restaurant industry, but you can order them online. I don't work for them. I'm just saying that in case you have any questions. I use a little bit of Old Bay seasoning. It's kind of one of those flavors that you can throw in something like grits and give them a little more character, so they're not just plain old grits. And also kind of adds a lot of flavor that people go, what is that? You know, what is that flavor? And that's kind of what we're looking for at the restaurant. So I'm going to add to that the 2 teaspoons I think I wrote down on there. At the end, if we feel, it's not enough seasoning or whatever, we'll adjust it then. But I'm going to let those flavors come together. It does kind of allow the cream to pick up a little bit of a reddish hue, but it's really nothing to be worried about. It sort of goes away once you add the grits to it. And we're using Anson Mills quick grits. We do use the quick grits, and we also use the coarse ground grits. It just depends on the preparation we were going to use. I figured this was great for class because we can get them done a whole lot faster than waiting 45 minutes to an hour for grits to cook. These should be done in about 25-30 minutes, so at tops, just depending on the temperature. And then to that, we're going to add some shredded white cheddar because I think cheddar grits are just the best. Some people like sweet grits, and my wife adds sugar to hers. She's from Texas, so that's what they do over there. I like the cheese thing, so I'm sticking with that. Not really a big sugar grits kind of guy, but to each his own. I'm bringing it to a boil, and then I'll turn it down to about medium. Once it comes to a boil, I'll add my grits. Yeah, bring it to a boil, then I'll throw my grits in and stir them up really good. Once they've kind of activated a bit, kind of started to pull in all the liquid, then I'll turn it down to low, and every once in a while I'll come back over and stir it up. So I can kind of forget about it and work on other things without scorching the bottom or burning it. If you do find that your grits do stick to your bottom of your pot, you forgot about them for 10 minutes or whatever, turn the heat completely off or just take them off and set them to the side for about 5 minutes. You'll find that the grits will release themselves right back into the bulk of them, and then you can put them right back on the heat and continue to stir. So the little tricks you kind of learn from time to time. Added in our grits, and we're mixing it up. I'll pull off the sides a little bit here that had some of the seasoning that was on the side there. Most of it's probably gotten into the milk base itself here. And again, I sort of cook that until it's starting to bubble up. And you notice it's not going to take very long to do that. And then once I've got it kind of where I want it, I'm just going to put it on an extremely low heat, and it'll sort of quiet down. And then I'm just going to come back and check it every so often and give it a stir. Our grits look like they're ready to go, so I'm just going to add a little bit of cheese to that. Because cheese makes everything better, right? I'm going to add that cheese while it's still hot and make sure it's seasoned well. More cheese, why not? You're not on diets, are you?